How do you do? It's Mr. Moo. How you doing? They say the early bird gets the worm, but I say last to the party is the most smarty. And that's why I've decided to make Squid Game content months late. But in my game, I'm using real squids. Well, they're not real, but they're real virtual. Let's go! First, I started with a big robot girl. Her head looks like a big baby head. How old is she supposed to be, by the way? 10? 6? Is this the normal shape of a girl's head? Who knows? Also, am I the only one who has no idea how old children are? Whenever I see a kid, I can't tell if they're 6 or 13. Is that normal? But anyway, I digress. I painted her face on with texture painting. She certainly looks a bit angrier than she does in the show. In my defense, she is murdering every single person she sees move at all. So, honestly, I feel like she's an angrier person than she's really letting on. And I really try to convey that in the eyebrows. I rigged her up with some bones. Not that she really moves much anyway. And yeah, she's just about wrapped up. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? She'll kill you if you move at all. Next, it's squid time. It was honestly a lot easier to model than the girl. The squid is pretty simple. The girl had a lot more detail than the squid. The squid is just a head with some buggy eyes. And then I shoved 6 tentacles up where the neck should be. Not that squids have necks. And as you might have already noticed with the color of the squid, I had the guard in mind first. And this is me modeling the mask that the guards famously wear in the show. And then I used an image of a circle that I made in Photoshop as the texture in Blender. And there you have it, an evil squid guard. Animating the contestant squids was a taller order. I was thinking about this game I played years back, called Octodad. And he kind of squishes around with his clumsy tentacles rather than walking around like a human. And that's the exact type of impression that I was set out to make in this case. So I spent some time trying to figure that out. And ultimately, I ended up with this. Woo! Oh yeah! Squishing around at a slowish pace. Got to avoid getting shot in the face. So now I actually have to turn this game into red light, green light. But if it's just a matter of taking your finger off the button every time the girl's head turns, it doesn't seem like that great of a game. So I gotta add something to make this game a little more interesting. So what I decided to do is actually add a little bit of momentum to the squid. So when you press the button to tell the squid, you better start moving, it will start slow and eventually get faster and faster. And when you take your finger off the button, it'll start slowing down, but it doesn't stop on a dime. So you really have to anticipate red light. Otherwise, you're gonna get whacked. So now we need a kill animation. I seized the opportunity to learn about fluid simulators in Blender to get a nice flow of ink out of the head. And bang! Goodbye, little squiddy. You've got to go. So now I have a squid, and he'll die if Puff Baby sees him moving. I added a countdown clock, so you need to cross the finish line before hit 0, or, you guessed it, and a bunch of other game logic to make it work properly. So we're looking pretty good, but, as we all know, Squid Game has many contestants, not just the one. They should really call it Squid's Game. So I've made some AI that will run in varying speeds and directions. Each of them have a specific round that they're willing to die in. So they play by the rules until the round that they have to die. And now, honestly, it's looking pretty brutal out there. A real ink bath. But these AI squids are useless unless they serve some higher purpose. So I added some shoving so the squids can cause you to die if they run into you during red light. But better yet, I made the ink slippery. So if your squid walks onto the ink, you'll start slipping. And you can't stop or control where you're going until the effect wears off. Slippity-doo-dah, slippity-ay. My, oh my, what a fatal mistake. One last thing I needed to add was multiplayer, of course. For now, it's local, but depending on what I want to do with this project, perhaps I would add an online multiplayer or some other game modes and whatnot. I'm thinking if I decide to do that, I'm going to put it on Steam. And there you have it, the real Squid Game. I've been working on a 2D puzzle platformer for the past 3 years. It's called Stolen Hearts. You can wishlist it on Steam if you want. It would be muy appreciated. Like, comment, subscribe. I got a Discord. All the links are in the description. I'll see you cats on Flip Flop later.